Well, hospital time at
Come on, baby.
Shady Farm. This is our sickly turkey.
Come on, baby.
I think she's running a fever. Caroline's trying to nebulize her with magnesium chloride, which worked with our sick Tom a while back. We knock her fever down and get her to eating again.
There's also, besides magnesium chloride, which is a very powerful antiviral, antibacterial, there is also grapefruit seed extract, GSC, Nutriceuticals GSC, and lamatium, which is a North American herb that is, if you look it up, lamatium dissectum, and it's been used by Native Americans for millennia for severe viral infections, including influenza. It was also used successfully, found that the Native Americans who used lamatium during the great flu pandemic of 1918, 1919, that they had zero mortality amongst them. And so
it was mainly the Washoe tribe in
that's right.
Nevada.
Yep. And it had a remarkable effect on our last turkey, this one is fighting the pigs, as you can see, but the last one was so moribund, his rests were 120, and I mean the heart so fast it was undetectable, it was virtually impossible to detect. And we had him on the magnesium chloride, and it was probably 20 minutes. His head, eyes closed, head down in the chamber, and he couldn't stand, he was so sick. Probably 20 minutes after nebulization, he was running around. It was pretty incredible, and he recovered very, very quickly. We weren't sure whether it was gastrointestinal infection. She does have very loose stool, but they can get that when they don't eat. We know she hasn't eaten for about 3 days, except for what we've been trying to get into her, dripping feed concentrates and brewer's yeast and egg and vitamins and minerals, vitamin C, lysine into her beak to get her to have it in something. We think she's been drinking, I don't know how much, but of course there's always fear of dehydration. If they have high temperature and high pulse rate, their body's trying to cool down. So we are assuming she has a nasty any respiratory infection. We've been giving her milk thistle. Problem with turkeys, like cats, if they stop eating, they develop hepatic lipidosis, and a cat can start developing liver problems inside of 48 hours of not eating, and likewise with turkeys. So you really do have to give them supplements to keep the liver going, and you do have to give them, high protein foods. I've been taking a new Pro-Cat supplement, grinding it down, pureeing it with the GSC and some egg, and just to get something down her.
Interestingly, I was just able to get her to start eating some dry food, so we'll see what happens here. But that's the report from Shady Grove Farm Hospital.
All right, baby. Well, it's not exactly a veterinary hospital, and at the end of the day, the problem with West Virginia, we don't exactly have avian vets, especially central West Virginia. We're very isolated, and we do not have avian vets in this area. So if you've got sick birds, I think most people opt for euthanization. There's a lot of emotions being invested in these birds. These are heritage turkeys, and obviously a number of them will be Thanksgiving, but we are going to be starting the breeding program next year and providing eggs for people who want the eggs off these birds. Some of these girls and boys are brown-eyed, some are blue. The breed standard calls the brown eyes. Woo, she's got a little lively here. The breed standard calls the brown eyes, and this is a brown-eyed girl, so who knows, she may be one of those that we do feed. Anyway, that's probably it for now, Hank. Keep people updated on how this little one's getting on. She's, besides getting extremely lively, aren't you, my beauty? And I could do with some of this myself. You know, nothing like insufflated nebulized magnesium chloride for a nice bit of a sort of an immune system and cardiovascular boost. But anyway, we'll keep you bowel, people.
More later.